All right, great. So let's go ahead and look at the last demo, which would be a way to go further, which is start to add one more level of interaction, which would be back to the user, right? So the user can use the mouse as a way to execute a particular action, right? So this is just a demo file, how you could implement that. It's just conditionally adding a new condition when, a new chunk of code so that whenever I press the mouse on the screen, we make some new objects, right? So if I hit play and we watch this, slightly bigger screen, and I can just click and drag in the screen and add a bunch more objects. So whereas before we always had 50 or 20 objects on the screen, now this is also increasing the number of objects as we go, right? So it starts at 50, but as I click, we add more and more and more and more and more, right? So the screen's getting full of our different objects, right? And all of the other behaviors are still consistent, right? The bounce, the collide, the spawn, etc. are all still present here. But now we're working back with relationships to the user to make it a little bit more interactive. Okay, so that's one way that you could keep going further and developing the behavior of the objects that you've created within your processing sketch. We'd like to point you to a couple of additional resources as we conclude today's course. There's a processing programming handbook for visual designers, as well as the Make Projects version of Getting Started with Processing. Both of these books are really great and informative for getting up and running with processing, looking at the core concepts, as well as they each have a quite good reference to all the different methods you can use in processing. There's also the processing forum, which is very active. There's a lot of users that are very helpful on here. There's lots of content that is useful for learning more. And we'd also like to point you to our upcoming Mode Lab events. We have a new series of webinars and courses that we've launched just this week for the first half of the spring. They include Computing Form, which is advanced techniques with Kangaroo using simulation. We have Generative Assemblies, which is a workshop, two-day workshop here at our studio on February 16th, which is going to look at constraint-based component design and digital fabrication. That one's going to be really fun. We also have a course coming up later in February called Parametric Pleating, where we're going to be looking at developing custom components and using paneling tools to explore different distributions of those components on surfaces. And then wrapping up the spring series, or at least the first half of the spring series, we're going to look at organic modeling using T-splines, which allows us to develop free-form surfaces or free-form T-spline geometry. But we can also use that very precisely for working with tolerances, etc., for products. And that's going to be at the beginning of March. And then we'd also like to redirect you to our previous webinars and courses that we have listed on our site. They can be found here at this URL. Here's just a collection of them. We actually have now 12 up there online, including some that are free, like the Introduction to Processing, which you can always go back and review those videos if you want to review the foundational concepts for processing. And of course, this course will be online as video as well in the near future. All right. And thank you so much for attending. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, and if you haven't already, sign up for our newsletter. Here you have the URL for our Facebook page. It's /Mode Collective. And really that's the way to get the most up-to-date information about upcoming events and learning content. On the Facebook page, you can click on the Mode Newsletter button here at the top, and that will get you to the sign-up form for our newsletter, which goes out weekly and includes updates about things that are happening as well as partnerships that we have ongoing with our collaborators. And of course, always check back on Mode Lab. And thank you again for participating in this course. We look forward to having you back, and we'll leave the interface open for a few more minutes to answer any outstanding questions you might have. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time.